We've become a society that we don't hold anybody accountable anymore.
They had advance warning. Everyone in Greenville survived, but their lives as shopkeepers, teachers, plumbers, and artists, the Dixie Fire wiped those away with the town.
I think that's the deepest trauma, is like, who am I now? And I think a lot of people are struggling with that.
Sue Weber sees the struggle up close, working in the aftermath.
A lot of our elderly are passing away. And I think it's because for them, it's overwhelming.
The Dixie Fire destroyed an area the size of Rhode Island, almost 1 million acres, Canyon Dam, Indian Falls, half of Lassen Volcanic National Park. But it was Greenville that got the politicians spinning.
We lost Greenville tonight, and there's just not words for how us in government haven't been able to get the job done.
That's Congressman Doug LaMalfa, a Republican. He pointed to poor forest management as the problem behind this fire when he came up here. Governor Gavin Newsom, a Democrat, also came up. He pointed to something else.
These are climate-induced wildfires.
But neither politician from either side of the aisle pointed to what did cause this fire: a corporation that donated to both of their campaigns. Did climate change start this fire?
No.
Did forest management start this fire?
No.
What did start this fire?
PG&E.
For the tree that was on the line, there's a tree on the line, started a fire.
This 65-foot-tall Douglas fir should have been discovered and removed by PG&E, according to CAL FIRE. Investigators found the trunk was so rotten, it couldn't support the tree's weight.
The tree grew into line, or it fell into the line?
No, it fell into the line.
Butte County prosecutors say the problem was obvious.
This is not too far off from the tree that started the Dixie Fire.
The side of the trunk facing the power lines had a big section of bark missing. It'd been that way since 2008, an examination of tree rings showed. PG&E had 13 years to catch this problem, but never did.
Why did you not see this tree?
Investigators say PG&E also acted with negligence the day the tree broke, failing to take the problem seriously.
That tree was cooking for 10 hours in a very, very dangerous area.
PG&E's computers flagged trouble at 6:48 a.m., presumably the time the tree fell. But it took almost 10 hours for a PG&E employee to finally get there. When Troubleman Scott Campbell arrived, he said he noticed the tree and a small fire, the first flames of the Dixie Fire. The Troubleman's lawyers point out he risked his own safety trying to put it out. Prosecutors didn't charge Campbell. They say PG&E set him up to fail. It took PG&E about 4 hours to even give the job to Campbell. Before that, PG&E had assigned it to the wrong maintenance yard.
They basically wasted about 3.5 hours doing nothing.
Others at PG&E could have prevented this fire that day. 94 miles away in this unmarked PG&E building, operators thought about turning off the power, but decided not to.
If they'd have gotten up there earlier, if they'd have used any of the tools that were available to them, or just simply cutting off the power to that section of the line until they could get there, there would have been no fire.
So how many times does it have to happen?
The year before Dixie, PG&E pleaded guilty to crimes for sparking the Camp Fire. PG&E's criminal neglect of a power line killed people in and around Paradise.
Campfire, we put our foot down because that's different. People died. You can't just have a civil settlement.
PG&E pleaded guilty to 84 manslaughters,
making PG&E a felon, a killer.
The Dixie Fire sparked just up the highway in the same canyon. Butte County District Attorney Mike Ramsey says his team could have proved PG&E guilty again.
There's value in calling a crime a crime.
Correct.
That was the thing you had to give up this time.
At this point, yes.
He and the DAs of the other 4 counties that burned allowed PG&E to settle the Dixie Fire in civil court. No admission of criminal wrongdoing. In exchange, PG&E agreed to pay damages more quickly to the people whose homes burned down.
Get money back into that community.
The DAs say they wanted to avoid a repeat of the Camp Fire, where PG&E's crime victims are still waiting for payment, almost 4 years later.
But this is super cool. I'm super stoked for this.
Sue Weber is glad for any money that'll help Greenville rebuild. The nonprofit collaborative she helps run got $3 million in the deal. But it still doesn't feel right.
It's a game. Like, for me, it feels just like a game. And it's all about money, and it's all about power.
If they had convicted PG&E of crimes in the Dixie Fire, prosecutors say the punishment would have only been less than $330,000. After Paradise, when PG&E paid a fine of only $10,000 per manslaughter victim, prosecutors called on state lawmakers to pass tougher penalties for companies.
The ball's in their court at this point.
Lead Camp Fire prosecutor Mark Knoll says he's not even sure bigger fines would be enough. He wants the ability to jail PG&E executives if they don't keep their safety promises.
To me, that's the only real thing that's going to stop this, is if the people who are making the decisions of PG&E have consequences.
But our investigation found the legislature passed laws to protect PG&E, not punish it. They created a multi-billion-dollar insurance program, which PG&E plans to use for the Dixie Fire. We revealed the bill to create that insurance was written by lawyers working for Governor Gavin Newsom's office, a law firm that used to represent PG&E.
The laws are not made for the average American.
Despite its 91 felonies and sparking more fires every year, PG&E remains free and it remains in power.
If you don't hold somebody accountable, they will never be accountable. They will think they can do whatever they want, and they're right. They can.